Hello there. Welcome to Old Town Mariposa. And we're here downtown in the old Mariposa Hotel. And I have a good friend with me today, Al. Why don't you introduce yourself for the folks in the audience and maybe tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thanks, Bob. My name's Al Johnson. My wife and I moved up here in 2000 after a bunch of different places in California, where I was a printer at Mattel, and then I built buses in the 60s, and we trucked around the countryside. And then I went to Sears and worked as a fleet mechanic for a while. And when they finally decided they didn't need any fleet mechanics anymore, I said, good, that's a good time for me to retire. So we decided to come up to the mountains with a friend who was born here, actually. And they showed us around for a good weekend. Rained every single day. And we fell in love with Oakhurst and Mariposa. So we started looking at the Gazette, and there was an ad in there for an estate sale on a house, and we came up and looked at it and bought it. So,
Well, welcome.
thank you, sir.
How long have you been here?
Since 2000.
Since 2000.
Mhm.
So 15 years.
15 years.
And we've pretty much worked you right through your retirement, haven't we? Mariposa is famous for how we treat our retirees. We put them instantly to work, and that's what keeps our community vital.
I'm amazed at how many people volunteer for our builds, and a lot of them are retired.
Well, let's talk about your bills. Habitat for Humanity. Now, that's when I first met you. I served for a brief term on your board, and maybe you could talk a little bit about Habitat for Humanity.
Well, Habitat for Humanity International is a very, very large entity. We build in most countries in the world. I just had a notation that they built the 4,000th home in Tennessee just recently. But there are affiliates in almost every county in the United States, and like I said, all over the world. And our object is to build houses for the folks that can't quite afford the price of the house today.
Well, there's a concept of sweat equity, and so, you know, when I first heard about Habitat for Humanity, that was the idea that they gave houses to people.
We still hear that.
But you don't, do you?
No. No, that's it irritates us a little when we hear that, because we keep talking about sweat equity and people having a mortgage, and that's basically what happens. Is we select a family and we build a house as reasonably as we can with all of the volunteer labor that is donated to us for the build. And at the end, we end up with a bill that cost us to build the house, the property, and we turn that into a mortgage that is given to the partner family that we select on usually a 20-year basis with no interest. So that becomes an enormous gift to the family, and they're able to pay the house off much more rapidly, obviously.
And, you know, there's some really important economic dimensions to this that I don't think people really get into very much. The cost of housing for our labor force is a big factor, and some of the people that are working in our county aren't making a lot of money, and so this is not welfare or anything. These are for working people that
Absolutely.
that are working in our economy, and their children. We have this is all families that I'm aware of.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of it keeps our community vital. We we provide good housing for people who live and work in our community and support our community, and they in turn support our community in other ways as well. It's kind of a unique program. I really learned a lot when I was working with you guys, and I still work with you quite a bit. One of the things in terms of the Habitat program is how you finance all of this. Maybe you could explain. There is, of course, the volunteer element for many of our contractors are volunteers.
Absolutely.
And there's also, you know, the owner participating in the program itself, so the sweat equity. But there's still out-of-pocket expenses that come in, and financing this. There's rollover in it, but there still needs to be money coming in to help the overall program and what have you. And there's fundraisers. And
Fundraisers, yes.
I've been involved in a few of these fundraisers, and we have one coming up.
Yes, we do.
Maybe we could talk a little bit about that.
I'd love to. Once a year, this is our 5th Tour de Habitat.
Tour de Habitat.
Tour de Habitat. We kind of copied a little bit of the Tour de France, but we call it Tour de Habitat. It was actually started in, I believe it was North Dakota, a number of years ago now. And we ride stationary bikes.
Stationary bikes.
Stationary bikes, and this will be the event will be held at New Life Christian Church next Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
The teams, and I believe we have 18 teams at the moment of 6 riders each.
Okay.
That will be competing for prizes, and we also have donated gifts from a lot of the companies around town.
So how does this work? Teams riding stationary bikes.
Well, we have each rider for the team rides for 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
We start at 1 o'clock. We actually have 2 different sessions, one from 1 to 3 and one from 3:30 to 5.
Okay.
And teams will actually compete against each other.
Mm-hmm.
The sheriff was on a bike last year competing against the fire guys.
Yes.
And then we had 2 different teams from
It's going to be an
Mariposa
interesting
Church.
challenge this year.
Absolutely.
Because the sheriff is the fire chief.
Oh boy, he gets to ride on 2 teams.
Yeah.
No, it's a big fundraiser. It'll probably bring $10,000 to $12,000 for us, and that's how we garner the money
And
to build the
so,
houses.
so how does the community get involved in this fundraiser? Do they bet on the riders, or do
Probably against the law, but no.
they sponsor
Yes.
a team?
We have lots of people that just send us money as a sponsor, just checks from $100 to $500
And where would they send that money?
to Habitat in our office here in town.
And you have a website and all of that.
Yes,
so you're not hard to find.
Not hopefully. We have a small office up in Italian Acres office complex, and that's at the back of it. We also have our what we call the warehouse of donated items for building materials.
So can we
That's
talk a
also
little? Can we talk a little bit about that warehouse?
Certainly.
That's probably one of the more fascinating aspects of this. A lot of people donate used building materials.
building materials. Yep.
Yes. And some of those building materials find their way into a house or two, and you don't only just build houses, you also maintain some houses, right?
We do have a Brushing with Kindness program that helps people with fix-up projects. We're not allowed to use any used materials in the new house, although we do have, on occasion, new materials that are given to the warehouse that we can use, as long as it's brand new, because it's a brand new house. We do sell those. It's open every Saturday from 9 in the morning until 1.
And that's up at the what's the
Italian
name?
Acres.
Italian Acres, and that's out on Highway 49
49 North. Yes, just a little north from the DMV office.
Right. Okay.
That's beginning to be a little bit bigger fundraiser every year. When we started off, it was only a couple of thousand a year. Now we're up close to 10,000 a year in sales.
Okay. And you have other fundraisers throughout the year as well.
Oh, occasionally we'll do a spaghetti dinner at the Lutheran Church. We've had an art auction several years ago.
This is a picture of the crew. Our tech guy, Walt, is good at throwing pictures up there, and this is a crew in a newly completed house or nearly completed house, and that's the Habitat crew, the work crew, and guest family. Is that correct?
Some of them, I can't quite make out the picture from here, but that's our second house on Mueller Court up near the hospital, and that was right at the completion point. You can see that
Those
it's
are
already
pretty
painted.
nice looking houses when they get done.
Generally, we build a
They're assets in the community. They're not.
absolutely.
They're not. This is not junk we're putting up here.
No. It has to be brand new. It has to be, like I said, inspected by the county. This is a lot that we bought. We've had two pieces of property donated, 5-acre pieces up on Sebastopol, and we were able to build house number 1 and 3 up there, houses. This particular one on Mueller Court was a lot that we actually purchased. So we reach a point where we end up with the house finished, we have no land and we have very little money. So we have to start the process all over again. That's what the Tour de Habitat's all about, starting to get our money built back up again.
So, Al, we're gonna have to wrap up here pretty soon, so, just for our guests out there, maybe you could, give us a quick wrap-up of the Tour de Habitat. The time, it's gonna be February the 28th at the New Life Christian Fellowship out on Cole Road,
Yes.
outside of Boot Jack, beautiful downtown Boot Jack.
Downtown Blue Jack.
And,
Well, if I can we hold up the sign?
there'll be,
This sign will actually be on 49 for directions. This will be on Dara
we
Road,
get the glare off of it,
and
but
we'll have another one pointing down Cole Road. So when you're coming to the event, it's a fun event. We've got a really
and you can cheer, right?
you can cheer for your team. You can have some snacks and come anytime between 1 and 5 and cheer for your team and have a good time and maybe win some raffle prizes too.
Well, I really appreciate what you do. I've worked with you for a couple of years, and I know the amount of time that you put in on this. And for the folks out there, I hope you can come by and check out the Tour de Habitat.
Have some
And
fun with
if
this.
you have any questions about this program and your project, maybe they can find you on the web. And thank you again for coming in.
My pleasure.
And-
Thanks for having me. Bye.
And for you out